Welcome to the Mod Squad, where we're just a group of friends talking about anything pop culture and this week horror and Bandbox related. I'm your host. Joining me as always is Carrie,
Yo,
Felix,
What's up?
and a special guest, Mr. Brandon, one of the other mods for the Bandbox. Welcome, Brandon.
what's up, guys? How's it going?
Or should we call you
All right.
Ghostface?
Yeah,
I
you
was
call
just gonna
me.
say that.
Call
Is
me
it Mr.
Ghost.
Ghost or Mr. Face?
Yeah, Mr. Fates.
Mr.
Mr.
Face.
Face.
Mr. Face. I like it. I like it. So in news, we have the Dexter reboot coming back. Brandon,
it a
do you know
reboot?
anything about the Dexter reboot coming back?
So all they've revealed so far. They just announced it today. That Michael C. Hall is returning as Dexter. The showrunner, I don't remember their name, is returning, and they're shooting for a fall 2021 release. They're
Awesome.
calling it a
Nice.
reboot. I don't know exactly what that means. I don't know if they're going to pull like a Halloween 2018 and forget that the last like season even happened and start over, because that last season was panned by a lot of fans. So I'm really curious to see what they're going to do with that one.
Yeah, I think I didn't watch the last season, to tell you the truth, because I was pissed that it was, the direction it was going in. I'm like, so hopefully I have high hopes.
I have a question. Was it the
Yeah.
same showrunners in the last season throughout the show?
I'm not sure. The writing definitely felt different, especially the last couple of seasons. So I'm really hoping that they get some good writers on board, because it kind of fell off there towards the end. But I love that show.
In other news, Nicole Kidman has a Ghost Story remake in the works. Alejandro, oh my God, I'm gonna butcher this name. Alejandro Amenbar and Nicole Kidman's 2001 horror film The Others is being remade by Universal Pictures and Sentient Entertainment.
Huh.
Did you guys either of you guys see the others or no? I don't remember.
I've seen it, and I don't remember liking it, so
Hopefully the
liked it,
remake is
but
better.
yeah.
I don't know how they're going to do a remake and keep the ending a surprise.
Yeah.
They would have to completely rewrite the ending, or else everybody's going to see it coming. Because I remember, I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it, but the ending, it was a huge twist that nobody saw coming. So I don't know how they're going to do it with a reboot. But
Maybe there'll be a different twist, something else.
yeah.
Who knows? So what about mail call, guys? Did anybody get anything horror related in the mail this week?
I did.
What'd you get, sir?
It's a Spirit exclusive, Mr. Sam from Trick or Treat.
Nice.
It's my son's favorite character, so I got him one.
Awesome.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, he's gonna display it. He got it displayed, but I wanted to show it like this.
Sweet. Anybody else have anything horror?
I got the Shout Factory Friday the 13th collector's set last week. This is one of the coolest sets I've ever seen them release, especially at Friday the 13th. I love Shout Factory's artwork. I've got a bunch of pieces that they've put out that they've done. It's a 13 disc set.
Wow.
It's got they completely redid a bunch of the movies in like 4K transfer, and a bunch of the deleted scenes put back into the movie. This is definitely one of the most amazing collector sets I've seen, and it came with a couple of really, really cool art prints for the 40th anniversary of the first movie. So it's a killer set.
Nice.
Does it have Freddy versus Jason on there and Jason X?
No, so it goes from so it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, the final chapter, New Beginning, Jason Lives, The New Blood, Jason Takes Manhattan, Jason Goes to Hell, Jason X, Freddy versus Jason, and the Friday the 13th, the remake, the 2009 remake that they did. And then it's got a bonus disc, and it actually has a book, a booklet also with a bunch of pictures, behind the scenes stuff, a bunch of different stories about what happened during the filming of the movies. It's a killer set, man.
Awesome.
I've barely even dented it.
I know this is an unpopular opinion, but Jason X, it may be one of the worst of the Jasons, but I love the mask. Yeah. I love the mask in Jason X. It's my favorite mask.
I thought the movie was decent. I mean, for what it is.
And now we're going to go over our top 5 personal favorite horror movies / franchises of all time. Starting with number 5, we are going to start with the guest, Mr. Brandon. What is your 5th favorite horror franchise of all time?
So number 5, I'm going to have to say is the Wishmaster franchise. I absolutely love it. This was a tough one to decide where to place it exactly in my top 5, but I love the Wishmaster. I met a bunch of the cast at Monster Palooza last year, and I mean, it was one of my favorite movies growing up. The first couple especially are just awesome movies.
I remember watching that with my brother when we were younger too, and we were shocked at how good it was. It was a little bit of an original.
Cool. It's got some killer practical effects. I mean, it's got Robert Englund, Tony Todd, Kane Hodder. I mean, some of the cameos in this movie, Reggie Bannister. I mean, it's got such a great cast in it. And I rewatched it recently with my daughter. She's 15, and I've been introducing her to some of the horror movies that I loved growing up, and it's held up really well over the years with these practical effects. So it's a fun one.
Cool. All right, Carrie, how about you? What is your 5th favorite horror franchise?
Puppet Master, just because they're so freaking cute.
The cute horror, huh? All right, Felix, how about you, sir? What is your 5th favorite?
My 5th favorite, mine are going to be real paint by the numbers, basically all, popular horror movies. My 5th favorite one is Nightmare on Elm Street. For the simple fact, Freddy Krueger, I got a little corny as it went along, but especially that first one, and then that third one's actually my favorite, where Nancy comes back. I totally remember watching the trailer for it, and I thought I saw it wrong the first time, and I thought Nancy was talking to the guy from part 2, and I was just, oh my God, it's Nancy and it's the guy from part 2, and they're in a movie together, and yada yada yada. And I really like that one. I like kind of where it went with the Dream Child, Dream Warriors, Dream Child, the Dream Masters, so forth. I thought they were all right. Even Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare was decent. We actually had the hearing aid guy in our box last year, the band box. But Freddy, I mean, what can I say? He's really cute.
Well, this list for me was really hard because I'm traditionally not a horror guy. So really? I may be a little
looking at your face. I wouldn't think that, Kevin.
I may go a little off script, a little bit, or on some of these, but my 5th is Shaun of the Dead.
Oh.
I'm gonna put that in a horror category.
I can't hate.
Go Shaun of the Dead for number 5. It is a comedy as well, but it has horror elements. So there you go. That's my 5th.
The first time I seen that, I didn't even know about it. A friend of mine was telling me about it, and I'm like, "What are you talking? You mean Dawn of the Dead? No, Shaun of the Dead. It's new." I'm like, "Yeah, they just remade Dawn of the Dead. Zack Snyder made it." He goes, "Shaun of the Dead. Shaun. It's British."
Yep.
I'm like, what are you talking about? He actually lent me the CD, and me and my son love that movie so much. He actually never got it back. I mean, the DVD. He never got it back.
All right, Brandon, how about your number 4? What is your number 4, sir?
So number 4, I'm going to go with the Halloween franchise.
Okay, King 8.
Just barely made number 4. It was a tough one between number 3 and number 4, but simply for the fact that the first 2 are amazing. The third one, of course, has nothing to do with the Michael Myers, but the part 3 alone is an amazing movie for its own reasons. But then afterwards, a lot of the sequels just kind of fell off for me a lot more than some of the other horror franchises that I love. They just weren't as scary. They weren't as creative. So number 4 for me is going to be Halloween, the Halloween
Awesome.
franchise.
Can't hate.
Solid choice.
Yeah.
Carrie, how about you? What's your number 4?
So my number 4, I knew that, Nightmare on Elm Street and Michael Myers were going to be brought up because those are, they're classic. And so I went with The Gate because I don't know if you've seen it, but when I was little, that movie scared the crap out of me with those little, whatever they're called, the little demon thingies. They look like clay. But yeah, so that's my number 4.
Yeah, I believe you brought that up several times already.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it since back then. I gotta throw it on for the kids.
All right, Felix, how about you? What is your number 4?
Like Brandon, my 1 and 2 went back and forth, and my 3 and 4 went back and forth. But I'm gonna stick with the Conjuring universe. James Wan is one of my favorites out there. What he does, what he touches, from which I shouldn't get into it because that'll give away some of my other ones, but from Saw to Insidious to Conjuring, the direction he put it on, all the movies he had his hands on in that universe were really, really good. I would have to go with The Conjuring. The first one was really good, and it got me the image of that tree in the house, classic, horror house, scary house, with the scary tree up front. And then the second one, when it went to that, the second one, it's something I always heard about as a kid, and they went and they investigated a little bit of that. And also, I was reading up not too long ago about the newer one, The Devil Made Me Do It, which got moved back from this month to next year. But that one's also based pretty much on a true story where they literally used fence that the devil made them do it in court. It was actually a case out there, which was really weird. The Annabelle Creation, that first one didn't do nothing for me, but oh my God, Creation was really good. So just that the Conjuring as a whole is my number 4.
My number 4 is The Sixth Sense. I really enjoyed The Sixth Sense. Some people may call it a suspense movie, but I think it's a horror. It has horror elements, especially with people hanging in the courthouse and stuff like that.
You're wrong, Kevin. It's a suspenseful thriller. It's not a horror.
Yeah, well, it's on my list for horror, so I am keeping it on there as horror. Sixth Sense is number 4 for me. Brandon, how about your number 3, sir?
All right, number 3, I'm going to have to go with the Scream franchise. We just finished watching Scream 4 last night. I decided to introduce my kids to it. They're 15 and 12, almost 12. And I remember, when the first Scream movie came out, it totally revitalized the horror genre in the 90s, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it really did.
Part 3, kind of fell off a little bit. I think part 2 is one of the best horror sequels ever made. It's an awesome freaking movie. It's just so much fun to watch. And then we rewatched I watched part 4 last night with the kids, and it was a lot better than I remember it was the first time I watched it. It's hard to believe it's been almost 10 years since the last one came out. And they've actually announced that they are doing the Scream 5. I know they weren't going to do it for the longest time after Wes Craven passed away, but they've confirmed that everybody's coming back for Scream 5. So I'm really curious to see where they go with it. After watching the 4th one last night, I thought it was really clever what they did to kind of modernize it. But already, technology and everything has changed so much already in the last 10 years since the last one came out. So I'm really curious to see how they're going to move forward with it. But yeah, I think definitely the Scream franchise. It's so much fun to watch. That's my number 3.
I'm going to go into a little bit more on Scream a little bit later, but Scream 5, to bring it up now, the rights were bought by another company, and it's basically like the BAM box. It's from fans by fans, and they're going back. There's rumors that there's going to be flashback, and Skeet Ulrich is going to come back for flashbacks. There's rumors that Randy's sister was on set, so there might be another Randy tape out there. The 3 originals are back, so I can't wait till it's go. They really, again, the makers of Part 5 are big fans of the other ones, and so it's gonna. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, awesome. I am too. That's awesome.
All right, Carrie, how about your number 3? What's your number 3?
My number 3 is Scream.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, nice. I'm totally excited too about the number 5, and I can't wait. It's funny because I just watched number 4 like a couple of days ago. It came out on one of the streaming channels. I was like, oh, hey. So yeah, I mean, I really hope that it's gonna be, especially with all the, the big people coming back. I mean, let's just go Scream.
And speaking of Scream, BAM did have Skeet Ulrich sign a Ghostface mask. And BAM also had Matthew Lillard sign a Ghostface mask and a knife.
I actually got both of them right here.
Nice.
And I actually added Neve Campbell to it. I saw her at a Comic-Con in Germany when I was there.
Nice. Jealous.
Yeah, that's one of my
BAM,
favorites.
if you're listening, Neve Campbell, Ultrabox. Not saying.
All right, Felix, how about your number 3, sir?
My number 3 is the Halloween franchise. Halloween as a whole. That first one, my mom introduced me to the original Halloween. I remember loving Part 2. I'll be honest, I wasn't a fan of what they did with 3, but I loved number 4. And if you watch the documentary on number 4, that was another by fans from fans. They really dove into mythology of the first 2 movies. And then Part 5 was done by another director, another maker, and she couldn't talk, and I don't know about all that noise. But then H2O came out.
I liked H2O.
A lot of people got on
that.
Yeah.
Loved H2O. Then 6.
Yeah. That is one of the later sequels that are really.
And then the Resurrection was a big letdown, I'll be honest with you. But Halloween 2018 got back where that original is, and I can't wait for Halloween Kills and Halloween End to come out. Yeah. And speaking of Halloween, my son, he was when the kids were watching Barney the Dinosaur and so forth, he was 3, 4, 5 years old watching Halloween on VHS. He would finish watching it, he would rewind it, and when you would rewind a VHS, it does like the white lines and shit, people walking backwards. He would watch that, then it would start again, and he would watch the movie. And that's what he did all day long, was watch Scream movies, and we'll get into that later, and Halloween movies. But it's Halloween.
Well, the last Halloween one, like they're like, okay, we're watching it, like, is he really dead this time? And then, I'm not going to say too much, but the look that one girl had in the backseat of the car after the whole thing, it kind of got me thinking, well, they could go this way or they could go this way with it. So I think they kind of did that off of homage to the ending of the second Halloween from Rob Zombie, when she's in the asylum, and you don't know which way they're going to go with that as well. But that is literally Part 2 though, Carrie. So it's not that he's died a bunch of times or anything. It literally is Part 1, and then 2018 is Part 2. Gotcha.
If you don't know, now you know.
My number 3.
Wait, real quick. It's just like freaking Jason. They keep killing him, and he always comes back. So I'm just saying, like, I
As
know.
long
No,
as
I'm
the
not
money
trying to
keeps
say
making,
nothing. I was just showing.
No, I know it might be part 2, but it's like they just
as
like
long as the
Child's Play
franchise
too.
keeps making money, they're gonna keep bringing the killer back.
But
Yeah,
the thing
it's
is,
just
Kerry,
the
they
way
never
that
showed
bring
his
it back
body
is
though. They never
something
showed
like-
his body in the 2018 one, so it's not really like he dead and came back. They never showed him die.
So my number 3 is Scream. I'm just gonna stay with the theme. We're gonna get three
Yeah.
3 out of 4 going with Scream. Brandon, what is your number 2 favorite horror franchise of all time?
All right, my number 2 is going to be George Romero's Dead series, all of them. I mean, you can't have a lot of the horror movies that we have today without Night of the Living Dead.
I agree.
Yeah.
I got lucky enough to go see it in the theater last year, right around Halloween. They had a screening of it at a theater nearby, and I took the wife to see it. And it was my first time seeing it on the big screen, so it was amazing. But I grew up watching George Romero zombie movies, Night of the Living Dead, Day of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead, all of them. I absolutely love George Romero. It was heartbreaking when he passed away. It was a huge loss, and he was one of a kind. So definitely changed the zombie genre, created the zombie genre really, and that's one of my favorite horror subgenres. So definitely going to go with the George Romero Dead movies.
You know what?
Can't hate, man.
I can't hate either. My son, actually, one of my sons was into the horror, the slashers, and my other one was more into the Dawn of the Dead. So he liked Night of the Living Dead. Then the remake of Dawn of the Dead. He was into zombies so much that when we started hearing about this zombie series called The Walking Dead, that's pretty much the reason why we watched it. We gave it a shot because my son loved zombies, and you know where that went for me. So
Right. All right,
That's
Carrie,
awesome.
how about your number 2? What is your number 2 favorite horror franchise?
Like I'm just going with the ones that just literally scared the shit out of me when I first saw them. I mean, like Tim Curry, it literally just scared the crap out of me.
you know what? I
So
didn't even
I gotta
think of
go with
Stephen
it.
King movies, man. Yeah.
Did you say
That's my
It?
number 2. Yeah.
It?
Tim
Can't
Curry,
hate.
not the. I mean, the new one. It's okay. Like I said, I saw it when I was young, and it scared the crap out of
That was
me.
Mark.
So
Right.
And all of his movies are supposed to be in the same universe, supposedly. So that's a good. I didn't even think about that.
Felix, what is your number 2 favorite?
My number 2 favorite has been talked about, but I'm gonna go another aspect of it, and it's Scream. Because when one of my sons liked Trick or Treat and zombie flicks, my other son was into Scream and Halloween. My oldest's first words were, "I'm gonna gut you like a fish."
You hang up on me again, I'll gut you like a fish, understand?
I thought it was hilarious. I'll be honest with you. He was right there by Dad watching it. And Mom, she loves these movies too. So he was right there by Mom and Dad, watching
That's hilarious.
Scream. And they both, at a young age, kind of like myself, but not really, because my mom introduced me into that, so I was a little bit older than they were. But yeah, I have to go with the Scream. I remember after part 3, it was almost monthly. He would ask me, "Dad, are they going to make?" He was a kid still, and he's like, "Are they going to make another one yet?" I'm like, "They're pretty sure they are, Dad. Next month, are they going to make in 2 months, Dad? Are they going to make another one?" I remember the look on his face when I told him they're actually going to make part 4.
Nice.
So just the other day, I was telling him too what I was telling you guys earlier about Randy maybe and all that, and he was excited for part 5 coming out. So I'm gonna have to say the Scream franchise because of my son.
My number 2 is the Friday the 13th series. I'm gonna just stick with the classic right there. I mean, you can't hate on that. I mean, dude walking around with a damn machete. That's scary as shit.
I'm I'm gonna say that's right outside. That's probably 6 or 7 for me. I know Brandon's gonna shank me for that, but it's right outside though. Part 4 of that really.
I'm gonna get you like a fish.
Part 4 of that one, I don't know why, because he was Corey Feldman was the same age as me, maybe, and just when he's killing him at the end, that always stayed with me, and I love part 5. I didn't like. I mean, I liked part 5 because it was the same character, but I liked the actor that actually was in the next 2 that played Tommy, and I really wish they would have stayed with that or with the character. I really like the character of Tommy from 4, 5, and 6, but I wish they would have went somewhere else with him. I think in the comics he does pick up the story a little bit, but that middle chunk is my favorite. I want to say from part 3, where he first gets the mask to do the Tommy ones, and then after the last one, I think with the girl with the powers, then I wasn't a fan of it. But I did like you said, Jason X, though. Something about it resonated with me.
Yeah, I like that too. Believe it or not, when we had some hurricanes here we had like 3 different hurricanes cross Florida within like a week of each other. And I had to stay at my cousin's house, and because he was the only one who had power. And we were sitting there just playing cards or whatever. And my daughter, she was maybe 2 or 3 at the time, and she was watching TV. We thought she was like watching Barney, but it turns out she was watching Freddy versus Jason, just glued to the TV. And now
watching Barney.
Yeah, and now all she does is play like Dead by Daylight, all those type games. So that was my number 2. Brandon, how about your number 1? Your numero uno. Top
so
dog.
My number 1 is your number 2. Friday the 13th series is by far my favorite franchise of horror movies. It has been since it's one of my earliest memories of watching with my dad. He introduced me to it when I was 5 years old. It's one of my earliest memories. I was watching part 7. That was the introduction of Kane Hodder as Jason, who's arguably the best Jason to ever wear the mask. But I mean, we've been rewatching the Friday the 13th movies. I've been watching with my son, and it's his favorite also. We just rewatched the first 2, and I mean the first movie is a piece of artwork in itself. I mean, Pamela Voorhees back then, female serial killers didn't exist really, so she was a trailblazer. But the franchise changed so much from then on. But it just got, to me, it just gets more and more fun as each movie goes on. I'll agree with Felix that middle chunk there between 3 and 6 or 7, those are definitely the cream of the crop there. But Jason Takes Manhattan has some of the coolest scenes ever filmed, I think, with Jason walking through Times Square. As horrible as the ending might be. And Jason Goes to Hell. Unfortunately, Kane Hodder wasn't even hardly in the movie that much. That the background on that movie it was such a nightmare. But that's definitely my number 1 pick. Is definitely the Friday the 13th franchise. Huge fan.
Sweet. Can't hate.
Nope.
Carrie, how about you? What is your number 1? Your numero uno.
So my number 1, it's Child's Play. And the only reason why this sticks out is because, once again, saw it when we were younger, scared the living crap out of me and my brother. See, when we were younger, we weren't really allowed to watch like horror movies. And so my sister would like sneak them into the house and let us watch them. And so one Christmas, my brother got a My Buddy doll, which kind of looked like Chucky. And
My buddy and me.
He threw that in the garbage, and I can remember it to this day. He had to explain why he threw it in the garbage. And my sister was sitting there going, "You better not say nothing. It was just yeah. So I'm going with Child's Play just because, you know, the memory is there and it scared the crap out of me. We weren't supposed to watch it like all these other movies, and it's just yeah. So that's why it's my number one. But I mean, like, you can't go wrong with Jason or any of them, actually, really, because they're classic. And so yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, on Child's Play, I don't think I've watched it all the way through because they lost me as soon as he cut the Achilles on that dude's. When he cut the Achilles on the dude's foot, I was out right there, and I'm like, I still feel it like in my foot. That's like anytime anything like that happens in a movie, it freaks me out.
It was like the in Pet Cemetery, the little Gage kid did that to the old man too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Felix, what is your number one, man? Number one.
Number one, again, it goes back to my kids and memories and so forth. I have to go with the Saw series.
I knew you were going to pick that.
Yeah, I kind of figured you were going Saw.
Yeah.
With we again, they were young, yes, but we would watch the first one. It was just something different that that was at the time. It was just something different. But part two is where they raised it. I want to say part two is probably my favorite one. What happened after that? We started watching. Saw would come out every Halloween, so we would binge them going up to it. So when part three was coming out, we saw the first one and second one. When part four was coming out, we'd watch the first one, the second one, and the third one. You know, just before we would go to the theater, and we've done that all through till Jigsaw. I think we did watch all of them again.
Yeah.
That's another one that, again, my youngest kid was. So if you go into his room right now, all he's got is Flash stuff from DC and Saw stuff on as well. So
awesome.
it really it's just something that we can't wait for Spiral. We're totally waiting this, you know, for this year. It was supposed to be out this month, but
Yeah.
they pushed it back. So
my wife and I did the same thing, going to the movies every year to see the new Saw.
Oh, you guys would watch them leading up to it?
That was like a tradition year.
Nice.
Yeah. And then that introduced me actually to YouTube, because we started going on YouTube and watching those theory videos and this videos and that kind of, and I didn't even know what YouTube was at that time. It was 2005, I want to say 2004. And so we would like get into it, me and my two kids, and wondering what was going to happen in the next one, how it was going to continue. If he died over there, why did, you know, this happen over here? So I have to go with Saw.
You know, it's funny because Saw was one of the first movies where I could not really pinpoint what was going to happen at the end. But when that fucking dude got off of the fucking floor at the end, I was like, holy, that right? I did not see that coming. And
the theme
reason,
song
that's
to
why I
that.
love Saw.
The theme song to that movie, I listen when I'm editing and doing stuff where I have to concentrate. I can't listen to songs with words because I'm like, you know, I'll start, don't chase waterfalls, keep them, and I'll just get distracted. So I hear the theme songs, and one of them I listen to is the Halloween theme song, the John Carpenter, and another one I listen to is Hello Zepp, I think, and it's just the music to the ending where everything starts coming together, like in that montage flashback, and that music ramps up. Oh my God. But yeah, I listen to that to this day when I'm like doing stuff on the computer.
Cool. Well, my number one, I'm just going to go straight up. When I think of horror, I think of Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean, straight up Freddy, man.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just the glove itself, it's so iconic.
Mm-hmm.
That's my number one. Now we are going to open up the Bandbox September Horror Edition. And we normally start with the paper.
Go ahead, Carrie, do your thing.
Does it smell, Carrie? Oh, wait.
I'm waiting. I'm seriously waiting for an unboxer to actually smell the paper.
You know what? I gotta say, I just smelled it, and the first thing that came to my mind when I smelled it was not chemicals or anything, but it smelled like watermelon. I don't know why. That was the first thing that. And we're back. We look a little different. We feel a little different because it is a different day. We had some technical difficulties, but we are going to push through. The first thing people usually pull out when they open up the box, other than the paper, are the pins. Here are the pins.
On the real, I really like these two. I like the corn husk on this guy.
Yeah,
Isaac's awesome. I really like Isaac.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a pretty iconic character in horror.
Hey, check it out. We were going to name my son either Isaac, Damien, or was it Malachi? Or
yeah.
Probably.
Wait,
yeah,
isn't this Malachi, not Isaac?
No, it's Isaac.
It's Isaac? Okay.
Malachi's the redhead, no?
Oh shoot! You know what? I'm not sure.
You know what? It is a Children of the Corn pin that is awesome looking. The next thing people usually pull out is the Artist Select card.
Here we go.
This is from the Reanimator.
Yeah.
I do not remember this guy's name.
So this is awesome. This is the second item that we've done from Reanimator. We did the syringe prop,
which is in his little pocket right here.
Which is
I actually need more of those.
Actually,
so,
there it is.
You guys are willing to get rid of yours cheap? Let me know. Hit me.
This artist card is by George Vega.
Good job, George.
For real.
I'm liking it.
Real good. Then we usually have the items such as a prop, and we have from House of a Thousand Corpses, Agatha Christie's.
Check it out. Age-old question. Does it or does it not come with cereal?
Does it? Oh, it comes with cereal. At least Felix's did.
Cereal.
Felix's did. This is cool. This is really cool because this is actually featured in the movie. You can actually see. I mean, there's a scene where she brings it out in the movie. I mean, there's a close up on it, so it's not just a throwaway item. This is actually from the movie. It's just pretty cool. They did a pretty awesome job with this.
Yeah,
it really is.
Cereal's pretty good too.
I like that it has the coupon. The little coupon right there.
Yeah.
Didn't the Spaceball ones also have the thing on there?
Yeah, the Spaceball ones had a coupon. Yeah, back when a couple months ago, BAM did a Spaceballs in the Geek Box. Then we have the artist print, the fan art. This is by Mark Rudolph.
Me being a huge Conjuring universe fan, as you guys just heard on the top 5 of all-time horror movies, I love this.
I do too. This is really cool. I really love the artwork on this. It's just a lot of fun to look at.
I do too, and I actually really like the variant. The way the people,
the bluer one,
the ones in the background really pop.
Mm-hmm.
More.
It just brings them out a little bit. This one's creepier. The original's creepier because it has that sepia look to it.
Mm-hmm.
But this one I like because it just brings them out a little bit more. Then we have the autograph, the Beckett certified print from Dawn of the Dead. Mike Christian.
Beckett certified. It says Dawn of the Dead right there.
So like I said, my second favorite horror franchise being the George Romero's of the Dead zombie series. I was super stoked to see the Hare Krishna zombie show up in this box. I mean, even though he only has like a small amount of time on screen, this is one of the most iconic zombies in horror movies. I think. I mean, if you're a fan of the zombie genre, you know who the Hare Krishna zombie is. So I was pretty stoked about this. This is a pretty awesome autograph to get.
And like I said, when you brought it up in your top 5, my son's Dawn of the Dead fan, man. This is what started our Walking Dead fix. So that one's going to my son for sure.
Yeah, even me, who's not traditionally a horror fan, when I opened up the box and saw this, without looking at Dawn of the Dead in the corner, I knew exactly where this was from. That
You're
was
just
pretty
saying
cool.
that because I called you out in the last video.
I made sure to cover my base on it. That
made
is
a note.
correct. Now comes the portion of the show where we answer questions from the members. Remember, if we answer a question that you asked when you leave it down in the comments, you get entered into a bucket. Your name gets put into a bucket for a full free art upgrade. Felix, what comes in a full free art upgrade?
Free art.
Awesome.
Thank you, Felix.
You get the 3 pins, which is the regular, the 99, and the 250, and you get both of the art prints, the out of regular and the out of 500.
Correct.
Nice.
And we do the drawing the first Wednesday of every month. And if you want to get your questions even in on the week before, we'll make sure to answer your question, and your name always goes in the drawing.
Correct. Today we have a question from Anthony Imperato. What are your guys' favorite 90s horror films? Well, in this video, I believe we all entered Scream would pretty much, I believe,
Was in our
fit.
top 5s, yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the answer to that question.
Yeah.
But
The
now,
Scream it's pretty much changed the face of horror in the 90s, I think. I mean, that's
Agreed.
totally what brought the horror genre back to life in the 90s, for sure.
well, guys, I actually believe that does it for this episode of the Mod Squad. So for Carrie, who's not here, Felix, and Brandon, I'm Kevin saying, keep on bamming, bammers. Stay golden.
See ya.
So we're on number 4. Okay, my number 4
Wait, are
is
Are we?
I guess, man.
Yeah.
I lost track through that whole diatribe.
I'll try not to talk so much next time, Kevin. Sorry.
Okay, hey, you made it in a round too short to make it a 4 of a kind, but that works. For my number 2,
What?
I'm going with.
I'm sorry. Go
For
ahead.
my number 2, huh? What?
I'm trying to figure out what the fuck you said, dude. But I guess sniffing the paper is more important.
Either that or she sniffed enough of the paper and she can't join us today.
That smells great.